welcome to Brilliance In You channel. Welcome to Cybersecurity and Forensic Virtual Conference 2020. I'm Jasspreet, Managing Director for Brilliance In You. As you all know, Brilliance In You is an international community which is spread across 10 countries, and we work towards emerging technologies like blockchain, AI, ML, deep learning, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and forensic. We did live webinars, seminars, conferences, and articles regarding to research paper and marketing. You can subscribe the YouTube channel in the description box below and can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. For today's topic, which is IoT storm and security, we have a very special guest who is joining us from New Delhi. I would like to welcome Mr. Smit. Hello, Mr.
Thank you, Jasspreet. Thank you. Yeah, so
he is a
yes.
cybersecurity enthusiast and has worked in various fields of cybersecurity with a great experience. I would now like to hand over the session to Mr. Smit.
Thank you, Jasspreet. Thank you. Let me share my screen and we can have the PPT. Just a minute. Yeah, so today this is very interesting topic. I mean, we hearing about IoT and stuffs and all the things, right? So we will discuss about IoT, what kind of attacks is happening in IoT, what is IoT actually, because there are very vague terms which is in the market, like people are not able to understand. So and this is very simple presentation, so anybody can understand what is IoT, what kind of attacks is happening, and lastly we'll discuss about how you can mitigate this attack. Let's start. So as you see, we are surrounded with IoT devices, right? These devices makes our life very easy. Maybe it's a smart home, right? Maybe it's a thermostat which control your temperature of your house, right? You are just sitting in the sofa and can control lights, gas, fridge, everything at ease. There is Alexa, Siri, right? Which is make your life easy. For example, there is a smart fridge where it can tell to Alexa that butter is no more, and Alexa will order butter for you, and this will be automatic process. You don't have to intervene, right? And it is becoming, and the life is becoming very easy due to these devices. Now, if we talk about hospitals, there are robots who can do surgery. And in the COVID, we have seen, right? There were robots to just give things, so you don't have to go near human. So we have seen many innovative and many innovation which is happening around us. Now, basically, what is IoT? First, let's understand that. So there are many terms, but I'll give you a simple example. Right now, you are connected to the world using some device. Maybe it's a smartphone, maybe it's a laptop, tablet, anything, right? And it is connected to internet. Now, connecting to the internet is such a wonderful experience. You get to know many things and you can share many things, right? Before smartphone, if you see, there was one simple phone where you were able to text or just call. But today, because of smartphone, you can see a movie, you can listen to song, you can read a book, right? Many things. So it has many benefits. Like you are connecting something and you are getting something and you are able to do the task very easily. Now, IoT in simple words is taking all things and connecting to the internet, right? When something is connected to internet, that means it can send and receive information. Like we give an example of smartphone, right? Where you are sending and receiving information. Now, ability to send and receive information makes things smart, and smart is good, right? This is what IoT is all about. The smart devices is sending, receiving information and making them more smarter. Now, again, I'll take example of phone. Right now, if you want to listen to any song, it doesn't matter whether that song is stored in your mobile. You are requesting that song, which is stored somewhere else in the cloud, or maybe at the Amazon cloud, or maybe at the cloud, Microsoft server, anywhere. And you are able to listen to that song. You are requesting and you are receiving. right? So to be smart, things doesn't have to be a supercomputer. What they can do is they can just connect to the supercomputer or super storage, which can give them intelligence. This is IoT. You are connecting. Now if you see any small devices, like for example IoT sensor that doesn't have that much capability, but that device is connected to supercomputer or super storage, which gives them ability to do the task, right? This is all about IoT, and we are surrounded with IoT devices. This is making human life very easy, and I think we are enjoying this, right? uh, because everything is like robot is doing something. Your light bulb is getting off and on by sitting on the sofa. I mean, this is the best life we can have. The thing is, what we are saying, IoT devices is increasing year by year. As of now, per minute, there are hundreds of devices which is introduced to the internet. And it is said by 2025, there will be 85 billion devices. Now, the problem is there is a huge devices. It also increases the attack surfaces. And hackers are also leveraging this. The problem with these kind of devices is there is no proper security. So I'll give you an example. Few years back or last year, right, there was attack on the Dyn. Now Dyn is a internet provider in US and Europe. What hackers did, they leverage or exploited IoT devices. Based on that, they did DDoS attack on this Dyn, and the internet was down in Europe and US. Now you can just imagine what hackers can do. They can just disrupt the system.
Right.
Second thing we are seeing, IoT is more evolving in automobile section. Cars are becoming more smarter, right? And they have capability to cater all this. So for example, we are talking about smart cars, right? So that, now if you think years before, I think yeah, just a minute, sorry. Yeah, so cars are becoming smarter and smarter, right? And you have heard about Tesla, right? You have heard about automatic car, which is connected to internet and gives benefit. We never imagined that within few years we will just sit in the car and we'll just give the navigation and car will operate on its own, right? We never imagined, but this is happening today. It is believed that by 2023, 75% of the car will be connected to the internet. Now, this also opens door for vulnerabilities, and hackers can leverage this. Let's see an example related to this car. So basically, this video will show you how hackers can hack your smart cars. Let's see this. Not fun to have your Let me just forward. Yeah. I didn't do that. Trick started small. Oh my god. That was a picture of Charlie. So hackers are sitting somewhere else. They hack the car and they've changed the dashboard, as you can see. And very loud. They started the music, and user cannot control it. You cannot off. So these are the hackers. They are sitting somewhere else. They can also manipulate engines.
Like we can say technology has a negative aspect also.
Sorry, come again.
I was saying that with these technologies like car getting properly IoT systemized and the hackers are able to hack them. And
exactly, right.
yeah, this shows the negative effect of the technology that if we are not very precautious about the security measure, then we can be the
Yeah, so
victim
this
for
is, I
this.
mean, really scary, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely right. Absolutely. This is really scary. You are investing a huge amount when you buy a car, and if it is not secure. So in previous example, we are talking about smart cars, which is making human life easy. But if this is the scenario, there will be more people killed because of this than saving it, right? Because
right.
if you see smart car has ability to stop or do any kind of decision based on AI, right? If there is some object in your front, it will automatically stop it. But what if hacker manipulate that? It will kill the person. So
It will.
chances are there, more chances are there that they will kill more human if there is no proper security. So in the last, so this is what they are showing is they can fail the brakes also. So just this example, if you see this, they can control the car, they can fail the brakes, everything is possible. So let me just forward. So they are controlling the car right now, and everything is everything can be done. They are manipulating engine. Now the brake has failed. Okay, so just imagine hacker can control the whole car, and because of this issue, 1.4 million car was taken back from the market, right? So it is more concerning, and the things is not easy. It is making our human life easy, but there is another part which we need to look at. Now we are hearing about border tensions, here in India, right? There people are saying there can be a cyber war, there can be a war, right? Now we have also have to be very capable to handle these. So in this example, I will show you how weapons can be hacked. So basically, these are smart weapons. This is smart sniper rifle, which can be hacked and what can be done. So let's see that. I'll just forward it.
And these type of cases are in a rise in this lockdown situation, like hacking and all the stuff.
Yeah. So let's understand this how they're doing it. So what they did is, I'll just explain you. So this smart rifle has a Wi-Fi, right? Where you can connect and get the analytics and all. So what hackers or researchers did, they connected to this Wi-Fi, intercepted that communication and changed the code. So when you are aiming a target, you will get everything is fine on the screen of that sniper rifle, that everything is okay, you are aiming right. But when you fire the bullet, it will hit on left side, right? So you are missing the target, but on the screen, everything will be okay. Now, these is really concerning, right? Now, for example, this can be a missile defense system. It can be a jet system, right? Any defense system, if it has been manipulated, it can just have a devastated result. Maybe it will fire on the force itself, right? We never know what can be happen. So this is really concerning. And again, we are using many smart devices, but are we smart enough to handle this? That's a question.
As you have mentioned that they have get into the network through the Wi-Fi. So that means that the opponent, like the one who is hacking the system, should be in the range of that area. It's very important.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yes. So they have to be in the range of that area. But if you see the car example, they were not in that area. They were sitting somewhere else because it was connected to the cloud. So here we have to understand, right? In IoT devices, in this rifle, it might happen there is something which is connected to the cloud. Now, hacker in this scenario, it was they have to be in the range, but
Right.
there was something which is connected to cloud, which hacker can leverage and can hack from remote location. It is possible because most of the we will talk about that. Most of the devices is connected to the cloud.
So the devices which are connected to cloud are more at risk with these type
Yes,
of challenges.
right. Right, let's see another example. This is more related to medical, like we are seeing COVID-19 situation and all that stuff. Hospital is really really important because it is again related to our lives. So this was researched by our company Checkpoint in 2019, where we were able to manipulate ultrasound machine, right? These machines are used for sonography and all that stuff, right? And they have legacy Windows 2000. Now, if you see, Microsoft have stopped supporting Windows 2000, right? So if any vulnerability comes in, there is no patch at all. But these systems are using it. So what happened here? Because of this, we were able to exploit the vulnerabilities of the system. Researchers were able to manipulate the report also and able to also infect with ransomware. Now just imagine sonography machine or MRI machine example, right? And you are manipulating the reports of patients. What can happen? It can create havoc. There are many examples like this. Recently, in COVID-19 situation, we have seen there were many robots who was doing work of human. What if somebody hacks that robot? Right? And in the past, like for example, I'll give you an example. NHS is a hospital institute in UK, right? It was hacked and infected by ransomware, and they were not able to treat patient on time. So just imagine there was appointment for the operations and everything is down. How will you do it? It will create havoc, and maybe human will lose their lives, right? This is really concerning. Now hackers don't have emotions. That's the thing. Hackers doesn't have emotion, right? They will hack hospital, they can hack power grid, or anything is possible. So this has happened.
So how can you
Next
protect
example.
from these things, like
Sorry, please repeat. I'm not able to hear.
as these type of attacks are occurring much greater in number, right?
Yes,
Because of this COVID situation. So what are the
absolutely.
precautions that we can take to avoid such things?
Okay, good question. Yeah, so what we can do is, first of all, use the operating system, because all starts with the operating system, which is supported by Microsoft or Apple, right? And it should be patched enough because there are many vulnerabilities, right? So first thing is, have you patched if there is a vulnerability? Because if you see the example of WannaCry, there was patch which was released few weeks back, but people didn't patch it, and due to that, we have seen these kind of situation and people were infected by ransomware. Now during COVID, what we have observed is there are many attacks which has increased of phishing attacks and ransomware attacks, right? Because what happened, people were in hurry. So I'll give you an example what happened in enterprises. People just expose their servers or email servers without thinking of security, and it was very easy for hackers to leverage that. Second is, most of the people are working from home. Now in normal scenario, they were sitting in any offices, right? And there was some security, but now there is no security at your endpoint, like your mobile or your laptop. I have seen that people have no antivirus also, right?
Very
This is the reality. So it is very easy for hackers to hack the device, and through that they can go to the corporate network, because employee will always access corporate network, right? So it becomes very easy to hack your laptop or your mobile, and then through that they hack your corporate network. So always protect your asset, because there is no perimeter at all right now due to this COVID-19. We are not in office, we are working from home. So secure your laptop. There should be a minimal antivirus, I would say. There are many advanced solutions like EDR or advanced antivirus, right? That's a second step. But first, have some basic security which can protect you from these kind of attacks. Second is, when you are exposing your email servers or OVA, have some proper security, right? So nobody from outside can access it or can do any kind of hack stuff. Now, third is phishing, which most of the people fall in trap, because it's all about social engineering, right? If a hacker is sending you a mail for something which you like, for example, you like a lot of shopping, example, right? And hacker is giving you some coupons, you will always click on that mail. So you need to aware the user that this can be a trap, and these all things come by awareness. It's not a day night job. It takes time, but you have to start from somewhere.
Right precautions are needed, and we should be prepared earlier so that at least we can avoid the minimum damage that we can.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see another example of power grid. Now, in this example, hackers were not in the premises; they were sitting somewhere else, and let's see what they can do. And this is the example of power generation company. So whole system is blown off. Okay, so these kind of things are happening, and hackers are doing this. Now, there was one example of Ukraine I would give. Few years back, hackers targeted Ukraine power grid, and whole Ukraine was down. There was no light, no electricity in the whole Ukraine, and that was the month of December, where the temperature goes in minus. Right now, just imagine what can happen due to this. Right, people were in havoc. They can't do anything. They were not able to call the police or not the call center of power grid, right? So these things are happening, but still the question is, are we doing something for this? That's the food for thought, I would say.
There must be some
Now,
kind of special antivirus designed for such system, like home-based system you're talking about.
so see, normal antivirus, if you talk about normal antivirus, there are two things. First is known attack, and second is unknown attack. So most of the antivirus works on the known part, where you download patches, you update the signature, right?
Right.
And if you have that signature, then only you will able to prevent it. But today's world, hackers are also very smart. See, it's all about cat and mouse game. Someday security company will be ahead, someday hackers will be ahead, right?
Sure.
So it's all about cat and mouse game. The question is how much precaution you are taking. So for example, if you think that by just installing antivirus on my endpoint I will be protected, that the answer is no, because you have to protect each and every devices which is in your premises, in your network, right? It can be a smart bulb, it can be endpoint, it can be your mobile, anywhere, because hacker will try everything. They will not just rely on one thing. If they want to target, they will come with from anywhere. Now coming to back to antivirus part, yes, so antivirus can protect from known attacks, known signatures. But if there is an advanced attacks like fileless malware, or something else, right? They will not able to protect you from that. So you need EDR solution, that is endpoint detection and response, which can cater to this kind of solution, or maybe a sandboxing solution, which can see the behavior or pattern, and based on that can give you a verdict whether it's a malicious or not. Now, we have seen that this IoT devices is connected to the cloud. Now, this was very interesting news which I came upon, right? These devices is listening to all your conversation. Now, for example, when you are ordering something to or telling to Alexa, that recording is going back to Amazon. Same thing in Apple, same thing in Google, and they are listening to your conversation. Based on that, they are making you profile. So, for example, if you are ordering something frequently from Amazon through Alexa, they exactly know what you like. Based on that, they make your profile. So this was in the news. Amazon admits employees listen to Alexa conversation. Now, here, mind it, Alexa always listen whether you are giving command or not. It is always in listening mode. So whatever you are talking, your private talks, or maybe you are talking about your company, right? Everything is listened by Alexa or your Siri. So second news, if you see, it's Apple apologize for listening to Siri conversation. Third is Google employees are eavesdropping, giving your living room, right?
But
Google
this
is
is
also
like
listening.
breaching of your personal space, and there must be some policies regarding this.
I'm sorry. Can you just repeat? I'm not able to hear you.
The thing you have just discussed, that Alexa is able to hear everything you say in the house or everything you talk about. But this is like breaching your personal space, and there should be some policies regarding it. That the company should not have such rights.
So yes, they have policies, right? You are absolutely right. But it happened after they were exposed. First, people were blind. They were not able to know, okay, this is happening. But when the somebody exposed that, then the policy came, okay, we apologize, we'll do something. But till that time, they have a lot of data. And still, we don't know whether they are listening or not, because you cannot go to their center and see by your eyes, right? Maybe they have absolutely, you're right, they have policies, but we don't know whether it has been in effect or not, right? And this, so this is really, it's not about just Alexa or anything. It's about all the IoT devices. I'll give you an example of Fitbit, a very popular tracking device, right? That they store that data in cloud, and some hackers exploited that data, and it was having all the data from where you are running every day, what kind of activities you are doing. And same thing was of military person also. Now military person might be in some secret location, but hackers were able to see that locations also because of this Fitbit data. So you can never imagine what can happen to your data. It might look okay, what will happen if my data is exposed, but you never know how that data can be used. I'll give another example. So there was one dating site, this is few years back example, right? And that site data was exposed. Now in that dating site, there were people who was associated with White House. There were officers, there were ministers. Their data was exposed, and due to this, few people did suicide. So you never know how this data can impact you. Same thing is happening. We are giving a lot of data. These devices know lot of information about us. Your Alexa might know everything about you because it is somewhere else in your house, and constantly you are doing the conversation with people on the phone with Alexa or your Google Home, right? And they are listening everything. So they know more things about you than the world. I would say that.
Right.
Then there is another factor which we can see is, so how these IoT devices are exposed. One is through external factor and one is through internal factor. So external might be, we have seen there is a insecure connection like Wi-Fi, right? there are search engines like Shodan, which is specifically designed to search IoT devices. So all your IoT devices, which is exposed to internet, anybody can search that devices using this specific search engine, and it is specifically made for Internet of Things. And through this, people were able to access your cameras, your smart home devices, and were able to change data also if there was no proper security, right? And we have also seen few people could reach to nuclear power stations devices. Now this is scary. What if something has been changed at the nuclear side? It can create a havoc, right? And internally it's like, if somebody is, near my devices, they can intercept the communication. Like for example, there is unsecured wireless access, they can just intercept the communication. Second is deploying the malicious device in the company itself. So it's like, in the past we have seen like somebody will throw the USB in the premises, somebody will pick up it and put it in the endpoint, and the game is over. Same thing is happening in IoT devices. If there is a malicious device itself in the premises or through supply chain, like your partner or vendor who is accessing your network, hackers can easily leverage that. Now the interesting thing here is all these IoT devices is connected by some means to each other, right? They talk to each other. If one device is exposed, they can expose all other devices which is connected. So when we think of IoT security, we have to think from the smart light bulb, CCTV camera, Alexa, your Siri, everything should be taken care. It's not just one thing, not just CCTV camera. It can be any IoT device. We have to take care of all these things. Then only we'll able to give the proper security. Now what, and other thing what we are seeing is why legacy solution fails. So these kind of solution doesn't have any risk visibility. So for example, you bought a camera, and if that camera has some firmware vulnerability, how will you know that this camera firmware has some vulnerability? You don't have any tools or solution, right? Second is what we are seeing, there are very less people in the market who have knowledge of IoT. We are not talking about IoT security, but first IoT, right? Where there are very few people who know about IoT, who understand IoT. So we need more people who can understand IoT and IoT security. Third thing, there is no threat prevention. So for example, if somebody or hacker is attacking your devices, there is no mechanism to prevent that attack. So we took an example of DDoS attack. If that kind of attack or somebody is exploiting your device firmware, there should be mechanism to stop that attack, to prevent that attack, because detection will not work here. If you detect it, the damage has already been done. So you need to prevent it, right? So keeping all these things in mind, we have came up with a solution. So it is based on three things. What first we do is, first is IoT discovery. That is what kind of IoT devices you have in your environment. It can be CCTV camera, it can be a smart light bulb, it can be any IoT devices. We will segment that. Okay, this is CCTV camera, this is your smart bulbs, automatically, and this is automatic process, no human intervention. Second thing we will do is firmware risk assessment. Now the question was, if the firmware has some vulnerability, how would I know, right? That was a gap. So through this we were able to see, okay, this firmware has this vulnerability or this security flow. And third is leveraging all this with our feeds which we already have, and we share these feeds with everyone. So this is known as IoT Thread Intelligence, and we have many IOCs, CNC communication, all. And making all this, we define a risk score. That what can we, is it a critical, is it a medium, or it doesn't matter, right? Second thing we do is, so I'll just show you how it looks like. Once we deploy the solution, we would exactly know if there is any weak known credential. For example, you have one IP camera in your home or maybe on your office, right? If you are using publicly available list of these kind of credential or default credential, because I see most of the people keep default credential. I'll take example of your router. You never change from admin. It will be always admin, right? So it becomes very easy for hackers to just exploit your router and use that. So that kind of attack has happened in past, where hackers exploited routers, IP cameras because of this weak credential, and they did DDoS attack, and it was in TBs. One of the greatest attack, I would say, it was in TBs using IoT device. So this is happening. Second is, if your firmware has any known vulnerability, right, it will tell you instantly. Third is, if your device is acting malicious, if it is trying to send some information to some domain which is malicious, we would come to know through this. So this is overall. So when we combine all this, we get risk score, which I was talking now. Okay, this is very high because there is a known vulnerability, the password is weak, there is a network misconfiguration, and there are network security flaws. So instantly I would able to see, okay, this device has this much vulnerability or this much flow, and automatically a policy will be created instantly. And this is again automatic, no human intervention on your network. So you don't have to do anything. This is fully automatic. So there will be policy for your smart bulbs, there will be policy for your IP cameras, all the IoT devices which is in your premises or your home. Now, the another problem is, like for example, car. I cannot keep devices or solution in car, right? Because it is not feasible. I can keep devices solution in my enterprise or my office, but it is not feasible to keep these kind of devices in your car or maybe your drone, because we have seen drone attacks also where somebody can intercept your Wi-Fi of drone and they can take down your drone, right? So what we did, we came up with a very intelligent nano agent. This code is embedded to the firmware itself of your devices, of your IoT devices. And this has very same intelligence which we are talking about, right? And if somebody attacks or try to exploit these devices, they will be prevented. They will not able to do, hackers will not able to do anything because it has firm level protection. Second thing where we can deploy these kind of nano agent is, first is your parking sensors, right? Second, use your IoT agriculture devices, your smart street cameras, CCTV cameras, smart meters. We are talking, we are seeing in our home, right? We have smart meters, smart street lights, smart bus stand. Now, you must have heard about smart cities where everything is smart, everything is connected, but I have not seen proper security, right? Now, just imagine if hackers can hack these kind of system, they can take down the whole city. And in past, this has happened. They can control traffic lights, right? They can control the CCTV feeds. They can control your smart meter. Maybe they will just give an order to, blow off whole house. It is possible because it's a smart meter. You can change the code. So what we can do is we can embed this security code within this meter or this camera, and if somebody tries to do these kind of attack, it can be prevented. And this is futuristic and we are ready with it, right? So we can deploy this with very minimal and minimal human intervention, I would say, very easy. And this can protect every IoT devices on the earth without any device, extra device, I would say, because it is embedded inside that device. So before ending my presentation, I would show you one video. It's a kind of funny, and it is surrounded with us. I mean, this is how IoT home or smart home looks like, and what can happen. Let's see.
Dangerous. Smoothie. Making smoothie. Calendar. No meetings today. Remember, dentist at 9:30. Fire off. Fire off. Open door. Door open. And we've had you one more. Fire. Open door. Wrong voice command. Open door. Wrong voice command. Open. Open door. Repeat that. Open door. I didn't understand that. Hey, open door. Play on the floor. Sing on the floor.
Right. So as I said, to control these smart devices, you have to be smart enough. So that's a food for thought, that are you smart enough to handle these kind of smart devices, right? Then only you will able to prevent these kind of security attacks which we are seeing, and it should be a autonomous, scalable, right? This is the because and it should be autonomous, scalable, and this is how we can get the best IoT security. Thank you so much.
Right. I will say it was a very wonderful presentation, and it, it was very visually interactive as well.
Thank you.
And you have shared so many details. And last thing I would like to ask you, any kind of tips that you would like to share with our viewers who are using
So
a laptop and
absolutely.
mobile phones? Because most of the people use mobile phones and they don't use any kind of security software in their mobile phone. So can you recommend something for that?
Sure, absolutely. So basically, yeah, this is the problem. I mean, we do everything from our mobile phone, right? Maybe our banking transaction and all other stuff is through phone, but there is no proper security. So I would suggest basically have some basic antivirus, because 95% of the people doesn't have basic antivirus on the mobile. So I'll ask you, whether do you have antivirus on your mobile?
Yeah, I do have.
You do have?
Yeah.
Ah, that's nice. So have some basic antivirus on your mobile, because it will take care of the known vulnerabilities. But if you are at very high level, like CFO or CTO, who decides the future of company, because we have seen that somebody can intercept your communication of mobile and can listen to all your conversation and all that stuff, then you need very advanced security. So for example, if you talk about checkpoint, we are into security since 25 years. So we have that kind of solution which can protect from advanced attack. But for normal user, I would suggest have some basic antivirus. Second thing is, understand the differentiation between a phishing and real. So you might receive one link on your WhatsApp or on your SMS, that okay, this is the link, please click this link, fill your details to get coupon, right? Never do that, because you are giving much more data to the people who can misuse that data,
Yeah, this is very common thing.
right?
Lots of people share some coupons like discount coupons and they want their details. This is very common.
Yeah, this is very common, absolutely very common. And like, Facebook or maybe WhatsApp, everywhere you will see that. But again, we have seen many examples how your data can be misused, right? You are giving your phone number or anything else, your email ID, and by guessing also they can hack your email ID, and your email ID basically will be connected to your bank account, right? So it's a chain. But we have to see like how they can affect. For example, if I give my email ID or phone number, what can happen, where that email ID is linked to. It is linked to my Facebook, it is linked to my banking account, right? We have to think on that part. Now coming to that SMS fraud, and we are hearing Paytm fraud, where they ask your OTP. So even banks and all these apps are saying never disclose your OTP, but still people are sharing. So it is again basic awareness, right? We need to create awareness in the society that okay, this is the right thing, this is the wrong. Then only we'll able to cater these kind of attacks. Otherwise it will go on and on. So before this, there was some Nigerian.
Keep supporting Brilliance in You. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, bye.